At sunrise, a man has been arrested after police say he barricaded himself inside a home in Tigard. What the sheriff's deputies had to do to take him out of the house. We have a live report with the latest. Plus,
we needed this. We have been screaming freedom for decades.
We're not going to stand for this. We're not going to stand for U.S. intervention.
Mixed reactions from Oregonians after a U.S. operation captured ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who is now facing charges in New York. What's next in Venezuela and how U.S. lawmakers are responding. And later, calling all local lovebirds. Wedding reservations at Portland parks began this week. They'll check in with some early risers lining up to get their favorite spot. KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are here for a look at your weather and traffic.
Hi, everybody. Still about 50 minutes away from the sun popping up. We do have breaks in the cloud cover and a nice Monday expected. This is the storm system that starts to come in tomorrow. It gives us hours of steady afternoon rain into the night on your Tuesday, and has prompted a winter storm warning starting tomorrow into Thursday for the Cascades, for finally some feet of snow, which we need. More on all of that coming up. Right now, we're watching some flurries up in the mountains. We're watching some scattered showers, mostly traceable stuff feeding inland up around Astoria. Partly cloudy skies currently, or at least some breaks in the cloud cover over Lincoln City. 43 degrees from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera there. And a break in the cloud deck from the Salem Tasting Room out in Sherwood, where it's 38 degrees. So yeah, there are some chilly spots in the 30s. To the bus stop, mainly dry, about 40, if you will, give or take. Mentioned sun up 7:51, a spotty shower chance, but really moving forward, mainly dry. Mid 40s at noon. Kids get out of school will be in the upper 40s this afternoon. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Back to work, back to school. The drive getting a little bit busier, but no major trouble out there just yet. Also looks like there's a little fog at the Sylvan Hill. That's Highway 26 near Skyline Boulevard. That said, the drive in from Hillsborough, not bad. 16 minutes right now. Elsewhere across the state, we do have some trouble. I'm going to take you to eastern Oregon. Interstate 84 right now is closed in Union County. This is westbound anyway, from LeGrand to Pendleton because of an early morning crash. Unsure if weather had to play any role in that, but you can see that the Interstate 84 through the Blue Mountains right now is snow covered. Also in Wasco County this morning, US 97 remains closed near milepost 30. That's just south of the Grass Valley area because of an early morning crash. So trying to follow the local detour around that.
Thank you, Chris. We are following breaking news this morning in Tigard, where the Washington County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man who was barricaded himself inside a home. Thomas Schultz is live at the scene. Thomas, what have you learned out there?
Hey, yeah, good morning, China. Yeah, we are in southwest Tigard, and right behind us you can see that there's still sheriff's office and mainly fire personnel still on scene. You can see that firefighter right there looking like he's just shining a flashlight into the home, seeing if there's any hot spots remaining. New video from the last half hour shows investigators surrounding that window before pulling the man out. Sheriff's office officials tell us this was initially a domestic issue report, but once they arrived on scene, that's when they realized things were dicier.
What we learned was that the suspect had access to firearms. This really changes the dynamic of this call. And then it's an opportunity for us to bring additional resources in to make it safer.
The sheriff's office says they were able to get the family out safely, fortunately. But because of those firearms, they brought in an armored vehicle, and law enforcement actually ripped the door off the home to get the man out before eventually pulling the suspect out of a window instead. TVFNR is also on scene because that suspect, according to Washington County Sheriff's Office, was setting fires inside the home while barricading himself inside. You can see there's still firefighters scanning the home, walking around the perimeter, shining flashlights on it as well. It's unclear as of now if that suspect has any injuries. That's something we are going to continue to look more into, but still a pretty active scene out here in southwest Tigard. China?
And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available 24/7. You can call the domestic violence hotline at the number there on your screen, 1-800-799-SAFE, or text the word START to 88788.
We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time.
That was the latest statement from President Donald Trump after he gave the order to capture ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro on Saturday. Earlier this morning, a convoy carrying Maduro arrived at a Manhattan courthouse ahead of his first court appearance today. The U.S. indictment against Maduro accuses him of leveraging government power to promote criminal conduct such as drug trafficking and terrorism. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, who has expressed her willingness to work with the U.S., is now the interim president. Members of Congress are divided mostly among party lines about whether the strike was legitimate.
Only Congress has the power to declare war.
This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion.
Officials there say at least 40 people were killed in the attack.
There's no other way of get rid of this situation other than having a military intervention.
That woman you just heard from owns a Venezuelan restaurant in Southeast Portland. She says she left Venezuela more than 20 years ago due to hyperinflation, corruption, and limited opportunity for career growth. She says President Trump's capture of Nicolas Maduro was the only way to remove Maduro from leadership. But other people in Portland disagree with that. Locally, there were several protests held in opposition to the actions by the U.S. government. Jay Coulter has a story.
You know, we're not going to stand for this. We're not going to stand for U.S. intervention.
Protests popping up across downtown Portland Saturday after the U.S. military captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro overnight.
It's just hard to believe that he would invade another country, capture the president, take them out.
Peter Parks out protesting with a personal connection.
My wife and I were in Venezuela like in 2004. We've talked to a lot of Venezuelan people. We've visited different workplaces, and I cannot agree with Trump's and his administration's analysis of what's going on there.
This is exactly the sort of international intervention that Trump campaigned against.
Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley experiencing some uncomfortable deja vu.
There are parallels that should haunt us to the action in Iraq. In Iraq, it was weapons of mass destruction, which was a cover story fed to the American people. In this case, the cover story was interdicting drugs.
Merkley claims it's actually about resources.
This is about oil. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
President Trump making multiple references to Venezuela's oil in his address Saturday morning.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Senator Patty Murray from Washington took to X to write, quote, "It is outrageous for a president who is tanking our economy here at home to suggest that the American taxpayer spend a fortune to, quote, run another country while doing nothing to make life better in America."
The amount of people being out here on such a dime like this shows just how unpopular actions like these are, how much the U.S. people do not want war.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
And stay with KGW as we continue to cover this story and reactions from the community on air, online, and streaming on KGW+. 4 people reportedly from Oregon died in a helicopter crash Friday in Arizona. The local sheriff's office says that the chopper hit a slack line that was strung across mountains near town of Superior. Family members posted on social media that all 3 passengers and the pilot on board are from Oregon and they are related. They say 2 of the passengers are from the city of Echo, 1 from Hermiston, and the pilot is from Baker City. The sheriff's office hasn't confirmed their identities. The NTSB is looking into the incident. At 9 o'clock this morning, a murder trial getting underway for Kevin West, a Kamas-Washougal firefighter who's accused of killing his wife in 2024. Local officials say West initially reported that his wife was having a seizure and had stopped breathing. 2 months later, an autopsy by the medical examiner ruled that his wife had died by suffocation and blunt trauma to the neck. Her death was ruled a homicide. We'll have more on this in our evening newscast and on our website, kgw.com. In Troutdale, first responders had to conduct a rope rescue after a driver went over an embankment. This happened just before 1 Saturday morning near Southeast Troutdale Road and Division Drive. Sonoma County Sheriff's deputies found the car about 20 feet down and heard the driver calling for help. After pulling him out, the driver was treated at the hospital and cited for DUI. Well, it's official. The Oregon Ducks are set to take on the Indiana Hoosiers this Friday in the Peach Bowl, Oregon's first trip to the semifinals since the first college football playoff in 2015. Indiana is undefeated. They're the Ducks' only loss this season, beating them 30-20 in October. And there's big expectations for quarterback Dante Moore, who head coach Dan Lanning says is a different player than he was back in October.
Experience. You got to remember when we played earlier in the season, Dante hadn't played a ton of games. And, as you play an entire season, you get exposed to a lot of different looks. You learn from those moments. And Dante certainly learned from a lot of those moments, what he's seen. He's been obviously a great player for us and done an unbelievable job, but he's not the same player.
Kickoff for the Peach Bowl is set for 4:30 our time this Friday, January 9th. ESPN's matchup predicts Indiana to win. Indiana is just a force.
They are really solid. Ducks get another chance, right? They didn't get him the first time. Maybe they'll get him this second time when it, of course, matters the most. All right. Timberline Lodge camera. The plow trucks were just out there. You can see the beautiful fresh white snow. They picked up 6 to 8 inches going back to Saturday overnight at both Timberline and Meadows. Some flurries up there this morning, 25 degrees. Passes do show snow cover. I look for sun breaks and flurries on a pretty quiet day up in the hill in the Cascades today. Different story tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday into Thursday, Oregon and Washington Cascades in purple here under a winter storm warning. In fact, I can't even remember last time we had a winter storm warning up in the Cascades. Has not happened much. We obviously need the snow. More on that coming up. Looks like a good 2 feet, at least we're hoping. All right, steady heavy rain will come with that in the valley. I have an impact alert from noon tomorrow until midnight. This is Tuesday. Nothing stormy, just hours of steady rain that will become impactful with the rain rates getting heavier as we get rolling into the evening hours of tomorrow. So all that's coming up. Right now we're dry. Take advantage of a nice Monday. The illuminated Pioneer Courthouse from the Pioneer Park building. Temperature out at PDX is down to 41 degrees. Again, we are mainly dry with breaks in the cloud cover. 39 up in Scappoose. More and more areas now dipping into the 30s, pointing out the breaks in the cloud deck. There's 35 in McMinnville and 35 out in Dallas this morning. Weather map, snow showers, southern and eastern areas of our state today, but mainly dry, upper 40s here on the west side, coast and valley. I've got Portland 48. Rain picks up tomorrow morning, the impact alert the afternoon into the night for the hours of steady rain. Rain at times Wednesday. It all breaks up Thursday. We go dry on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Back to work, back to school. Our drive is in relatively good shape, but I wanted to remind folks about this. If you haven't been paying attention a lot to, the weather or the traffic impact of all of last month's storms, we still have significant impacts out there. Highway 6 down to 1 lane because of this. Near the Glenwood area, US 101 down to 1 lane near milepost 102. That's just north of Lincoln City because of a slide repair. Of course, the 229 closure because of a landslide is going to be a lengthy one, and that remains closed. Highway 224 east of Estacada is still closed because of, again, landslide repair. And east of Mill City, or in Mill City, this is Highway 22. Again, ODOT doing some major work to shore up the hillside there. So that is also reduced to 1 alternating lane. These are areas that are likely to be impacted for the days and weeks to come with very slow traffic as ODOT does a lot of work to repair those hillsides. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Severe storms struck across parts of California, prompting road closures and rescues. More on the record-breaking king tides ahead. And finally, the wait is over for snow in the Cascades after weeks of delays. Ski resorts in our area expecting 2 feet of snow. We'll have more about this with Rod coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Record-setting king tides have hit parts of California, causing flash flooding and significant damage. CNN's John Lawrence takes a closer look.
Most of our stuff is just getting taken out by the current.
So far, it's been a soggy new year for many in the Golden State, where some streets have transformed into makeshift rivers.
This area is flooded frequently, but I've never seen it this bad. And I think it looks like people were pretty unprepared.
Severe storms struck across California over the past few days. Certain counties saw more than 4 inches of rain over a 48-hour period.
As I tried to pass through this bigger part of the flood, I'm in a Mini Cooper and it just was a little too low, so here I sit.
On Sunday afternoon, half the streets in the Bay Area's Larkspur Marina neighborhood were underwater after the overflowing of the Corte Madera Creek.
We're trying to keep as dry as possible, you know, every sump pump, every sandbag, but this is just kind of normal for this area, but it's just this is really much worse than we've ever seen.
King tides are the highest predicted tides of the year for a coastal location, and officials say these are the largest ones the region has seen since 1998.
They happen this time of year, but when in combination with storms like we've seen the last few days, it can really wreak havoc. You see a lot of flooding in a lot of low-lying areas, plus you'll see higher levels in our creeks. So we're really letting people know they need to be ready.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And an update to local ski conditions. Cascades Resorts from Bachelor to Timberline picked up 6 to 8 inches of snow over the weekend. Mount Hood Meadows had a limited opening yesterday and closed before night operations. They hope to get back to normal operations soon with more snow in the forecast. And you were talking about what it was like in years past. We are in uncharted territory in the past few years.
We have like a 2-foot base.
Yeah.
You go back a year ago.
It's like 100 and something.
100 plus inches.
Wild.
So again, we've had so few winter storm warnings. I can't even remember the last time we had one. But we've got one now with at least, we think, 2 feet of snow near to above. Maybe it's above the heavier amounts, 4,000 feet, developing tomorrow all the way into Thursday. Now, snow levels will drop tomorrow night into Wednesday, and I think there's got to be at least a foot of snow at government camp, hopefully more. Again, we need it, we need it. The storm warning in purple from the Weather Service tomorrow into Thursday covers all of the Oregon and the Washington Cascades. Today's pretty quiet. They've had some new snow. Passes have some snow cover, but today turns into a partly cloudy snow flurry day, snow level 3,000 feet. Now, tomorrow there is a bump, 4,000 foot snow level. Does that mean government camp could be kind of a wet mix and struggling to accumulate, or it could be all snow sticking at 4,000 feet? That's uncertain. But the front comes in tomorrow evening to the mountains, and then overnight into Wednesday, the snow level drops to 2,000 feet, and there's occasional shots of heavy snow during the day Wednesday into Wednesday night, tapering off Thursday. So again, near to maybe it's above 4,000 feet. We hope to get at least 2 feet, and we hope to get at least a foot plus at government camp before it's all said and done. We go on a dry run on Friday. Here's the storm setting out here, and here's the dry break ahead of it. Now note, there is some snow shower, rain shower activity in southwestern Oregon. That's going to be pushing out toward the Blue Mountains during the day today. Futurecast shows in blue some snow showers at noon today out in eastern Oregon. Maybe a spotty shower here in the west side, but basically we open up some decent sun, have light winds, and are mainly dry today. Dry overnight tonight. You wake up tomorrow morning, here's the rain along the coast. Steady rain comes in during the afternoon. The heavier rain rates late day into the evening in yellow as the front and the cooler weather moves in, and the blue is the snow up in the Cascades. It's not steady moisture Wednesday, but occasional decent shots of rain coming through and heavier snow belts occasionally hitting the Cascades. So we mentioned hoping to get at least 2 feet at Meadows and Timberline out of this, and models show that we could get close to an inch of rain from really Eugene all the way up into Portland, over an inch in Kelso, and could be close to 2 inches or more along the coast. So a pretty good rain soak coming as well. Pretty shot this morning. Some breaks in the mostly cloudy deck from the Wells Fargo camera, 41 degrees. We have some 30s out there, including you folks in Salem, now down to 37. Newport matches you, and the Dalles and Baker City match you at 37. So a bit of a morning chill, we'll call it. We'll be in the upper 40s today, mainly dry conditions, similar setup with light winds up into southwest Washington. And my 7-day, the quiet day today, 48. The impact alert tomorrow in the PM hours as the steady rain picks up and obviously becomes impactful with whatever your plans are. You're traveling, and then we dry out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's Chris.
Rod, so far the morning commute in pretty good shape. Obviously getting busier out there near the Interstate Bridge and Interstate 84. Of course, the Banfield traffic picking up. But so far, we're barely noticing that in the drive times. Right now, 17 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough. I-5 and I-205 look pretty good over the Glen Jackson and the Interstate Bridge. Heads up in eastern Oregon now. I-84 westbound closed from Baker City to Pendleton. This because of a crash in the Blue Mountains. I'm not sure if this is weather related, but this is what it looks like up in the Blues, where there is a section of I-84 that is snow covered there. And in Wasco County, US 97 closed south of Grass Valley because of an early morning crash. That crash about 2 miles south of Grass Valley followed the local detour around that. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz making a major announcement this morning why he's choosing to end his run for re-election.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Now to travel impact after the military action in Venezuela. The chaos at many airports in the Caribbean is beginning to ease after the FAA reopened the airspace that was restricted over the region. Liz Kreutz has the latest.
Air travel in and out of the Caribbean resuming after the abrupt cancellation of hundreds of flights in the region following the military action in Venezuela that's left thousands of holiday travelers stranded.
What's the mood there?
Somber. Right now, it just feels like everybody's just kind of drained. The line kind
Danny
of...
Cabrera showed us the long lines at the St. Croix airport, where he was supposed to fly out Saturday to Chicago to see his grandmother in hospice.
So this is a race against time for you to get back.
It really is. It really is. I'm hoping I can make it there tonight to say goodbye.
The airspace now reopened. Cabrera says he was lucky to get on another flight leaving today, but not everyone has had that success. Emma Blanco, who's vacationing in Aruba from New York, told us the only flight she's been able to find is not until Wednesday to Toronto. From there, she has a flight Thursday to JFK. This all despite many of the major U.S. airlines, including American, United, and Delta, saying they're adding flights in the region and in some cases bringing in larger aircrafts to accommodate more people. Megastar Leonardo DiCaprio apparently among those impacted. The Palm Springs Film Festival saying in a statement he had to miss their Saturday night event due to unexpected travel disruptions and restricted airspace. Meanwhile, weather is also adding to the travel chaos this holiday weekend. Flooding from high tides closing down this major highway outside San Francisco. And in the Midwest, snow showers putting 9 million under winter alerts from the Dakotas to Michigan, with that system expected to move to the Northeast this week.
This morning, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is dropping his re-election bid. The announcement comes as fraud allegations continue to rise in the state, which has prompted renewed criticism from Republicans, something Walz cited as a challenge in his campaign for a third term. An arrest has been made after a man barricaded himself inside a Tigard home. What the sheriff's deputies had to do to take him out of the house, coming up in a live report. Also coming up, ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro is set to make his first court appearance today in New York, ahead at 7:30. The charges he's facing and how local lawmakers are responding to his capture.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive. Back at 'em, back to school, back to work. The drive so far, though, in pretty good shape. We've got a little slowing right now over the Abernathy Bridge. That's live right now on I-205 from Oregon City to Westland. So that southbound commute starting to bunch up a little bit. A little foggy at the Sylvan Hill as well, but so far, not bad. 19 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough and the trip out of Clark County. Both of them over the interstate and the Glen Jackson Bridge. No major trouble for those drives just yet. Rod?
Good news there. Thank you, Chris. Good morning. We have a nice quiet Monday. We're starting off with kind of mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies in some spots here. Snookwind Casino Resort in Lincoln City. We do have snow over the Cascade Passes where they are reporting as much as 6 to 8 inches going back over the past 24 plus hours at Timberline and Meadows. It's in the 20s up there. There's a break in the cloud cover in Portland and we're at 41 degrees. Some of you are as cold as 35, but generally it's a good day moving forward. Light winds. Skies becoming partly cloudy, a spotty shower chance, yes. Temperatures in the upper 40s. Impact alert tomorrow in the PM hours as steady rain returns to the valley. It will be heavy going into the night.
We are following breaking news this morning in Tigard, where the Washington County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man who was barricading himself inside a home. Thomas Schultz is live at the scene. Thomas, you just learned new information about the suspect's conditions.
Yeah, that's right, China. According to TVFNR, that suspect has been taken to the hospital with life-threatening conditions after barricading himself in the home a few hours ago. Now, new video I want to show you as well shows investigators surrounding the window of the home before eventually pulling the man out. Sheriff's Office officials tell us this was initially a domestic report late last night, but once they arrived on scene, things got dicier.
What we learned was that the suspect had access to firearms. This really changes the dynamic of this call, and then it's an opportunity for us to bring additional resources in to make it safer.
The sheriff's office says they were able to get the family out of the home, but because of those firearms, they brought in an armored vehicle. Law enforcement ripped the door off the home to get the suspect out before instead eventually pulling him out of the window of the home. Now, over the past half hour, this scene has cleared quite a bit. There's not the fire crew presence that there was half an hour ago. There's just one law enforcement officer remaining here on scene, though TVFNR does tell us that they are continuing to investigate what happened here and monitor for hot spots as well as this investigation continues. As for the suspect, he has been arrested, though we are not sure yet what those charges will be that will be brought against him. China?
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live from Tigard this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available 24/7. You can call the domestic violence hotline at the number there on your screen, 1-800-799-SAFE, or text the word START to 88788. Your time now is 7:31. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Thank you, China. Good morning to you. A nice Monday to start the week here in Portland, Salem, and also along the coast. We have some spotty showers popping around Astoria. We do have the clouds and eventually some snow showers migrating central, mostly southern and eastern parts of our state, including the Blue Mountains. Here's good visibility over our state capital, 37 degrees. Been dry between Portland, Salem, and Vancouver for the last handful of hours. Downtown Portland, some breaks to mostly cloudy deck. 41 is the temperature. Our bus stop weather today, mainly dry with a spotty shower threat. 46 at noon. Kids got out of school today. Will be in the upper 40s. And that's your Monday update. Here's Chris.
Well, that sounds pretty good, Rod. Let's get you out the door. Wanted to start off with a quick look. Pardon me while I get my graphic in order here. I-205. Southbound over the Abernathy Bridge, running a little thick right now between Oregon City and West Linn. That camera right there in the lower right-hand part of your screen is the snapshot here. We can zoom in a little bit and show you that we're a bit slow from Oregon City to West Linn. There's also a report of a fender bender down near 10th Street. Outside of that, really, the drive times have been in pretty good shape so far this morning. The trip in from Clark County right now, 11 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, so that's not bad at all. Heads up, though, in eastern Oregon between Baker City and Pendleton. A crash right now has Interstate 84 westbound closed in the Blue Mountains. Not sure if weather played a role in that, but you can see here that it is a little snowy and icy on that section of Interstate 84. Also in Wasco County, south of the Grass Valley area, US 97 closed because of an early morning crash. You want to follow the local detour to get around that. Shana?
Thank you, Chris. Ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro is set to make his first appearance in New York today after he and his wife were captured by the United States over the weekend. They're both facing multiple charges in the U.S., including narco-terrorism conspiracy. NBC's Alice Bauer has the latest from Washington, D.C.
This morning, as deposed Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro prepares for his first court appearance in New York, charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, President Trump again asserting the U.S. is in charge in Venezuela.
We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time. But the main thing you have to fix is a broken country.
That amid new details about the U.S. mission to capture Maduro and his wife and key advisor Celia Flores at their Venezuelan compound, including strikes from 150 American aircraft after a secret CIA team laid the groundwork for months. President Trump saying the country's interim president, a close Maduro ally, is now cooperating and must continue to.
If they don't behave, we will do a second strike.
The president saying American oil companies will go in to rebuild infrastructure and take over Venezuela's rich oil supply.
They're going to take the oil out of the ground, and we're taking back what they stole. Remember, they stole our property.
On a divided Capitol Hill, Democrats saying the administration should have asked for congressional authorization to strike.
Only Congress has the power to declare war.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio pushing back.
This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion.
As Republicans defend the move.
Thank you, President Trump, for taking the action to protect American lives, to protect American interests.
And many Venezuelans who fled the country's authoritarian rule hope for a better future. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This is exactly the sort of international intervention that Trump campaigned against. There are parallels that should haunt us to the action in Iraq. In Iraq, it was weapons of mass destruction, which was a cover story fed to the American people. In this case, the cover story was interdicting drugs.
That was Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley's response to the U.S.'s capture of Maduro. Senator Merkley also saying this action was actually about oil, something President Trump made multiple references to during his address Saturday morning.
This is about oil. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
Senator Ron Wyden also releasing a statement over the weekend saying that he strongly opposes President Trump's actions, adding in part, quote, President Trump's attack on Venezuela without congressional authorization or imminent threat to the United States is exactly the same global interventionism that Americans soundly rejected after decades of failed wars and disastrous meddling in other nations' affairs. Washington Senator Patty Murray also chiming in on X, writing, quote, it's outrageous for a president who is tanking our economy here at home to suggest that American taxpayers spend a fortune to run another country while doing nothing to make life better in America. Stay with KGW as we continue to cover the story and reactions from the community on air, online, and streaming on KGW+. Meantime, President Trump making comments on the deployment of troops to U.S. cities as the National Guard is set to leave Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland. In a social media post, President Trump announced that he was withdrawing the troops from those cities. This follows a federal judge's decision in November to block the National Guard from deploying to Portland. President Trump also suggests the troops could be redeployed in a, quote, much different and stronger form.
The crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in, and we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used, the Insurrection Act.
You're considering using the Insurrection Act?
I've always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere.
Last week, Governor Tina Kotek said her office had not yet received official notice that the remaining federalized Oregon National Guard troops can return home. Today is a big day for many looking for their perfect wedding venue. Starting this morning, Portland Parks is opening up this year's batch of applications for weddings at parks across the city. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joined some of the happy couples waiting in line this morning.
Hey, it is dark and early here in downtown Portland at the Portland building. It's around 5:45, and people have been out here camping all night long, some of them, to get those reservations for their wedding venues. This couple right here, they tell us they've been here since noon yesterday waiting for today. Now let's go down this line here. We want to show you just a little bit of what we're seeing. You can see people in their tents, very well prepared for today, knowing this is a big deal and there's going to be a lot of people out here. Some other people we spoke with have been out here since 8 o'clock last night. That's this couple right here. The Hernandezes looking to get married in the near future. And we're going to take you all the way down here because there's a lot to show you. Now, why are there so many people out here today? It's really boiling down because it's a great deal and a great opportunity for people to get married in Portland Parks. The application window opens today at 8 a.m. That's when the doors open, and it's really first come, first serve for people waiting in line, hence the big long line. So you see people in the tents, you see people in the lawn chairs. We're going past the federal building here, all the way down the corner, even more people just hunkering down all night long, waiting to get in those doors to reserve their spot. We showed you the Hernandez couple, told you they're trying to get married pretty soon. They've been here since 8 p.m. Let's hear more from what they had to say today.
Definitely the price is a nice thing, but just kind of like we're outdoorsy people, and I'm sure a lot of people are, but just having like a beautiful place for your friends and family to come together and hang out where it's cozy and nice.
And we're going to keep it going here too. Look, this just keeps going on. Again, doors do not open here until 8 o'clock this morning, so a lot of time left to go, more than 2 hours waiting for people out here to get in there and get those reservations, but a lot of hope, a lot of optimism, and a lot of excitement for many people here in downtown Portland. Thomas Schultz.
They don't look that, I mean, it's early, but I didn't see a ton of smiles.
I mean, it's early, it's cold, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, China. All right. 8 o'clock, though, coming up 20 minutes away. All right. Not a bad Monday. We have temperatures in the 30s and low 40s out there. We have light winds. We've had some spotty showers this morning, mainly up along the coast. So it's a pretty quiet start to our day. And you can see there's generally a moisture break here with the next incoming system. This ball of moisture will come in during the morning hours of tomorrow, and then we'll get steady rain in the afternoon and heavier rain tomorrow evening. That is a system that has prompted a winter storm warning tomorrow into Thursday for the Cascades, where snow will be heavy at times all the way down below pass level, which of course we need. Here's a look at the Reserve Venus Golf Club out in Lowell. We have some breaks in the cloud cover, but not here. This is solid overcast. Well above freezing, though. You see no frost. 41 is the number. It's 40 nearby Hillsboro, 38 out in Forest Grove. And then you've got 37 in Oregon City. And who's the coldest here? Dallas down to 34 degrees right now. Salem and Albany each at 37. So a quiet Monday. Bandit, really beautiful pup. Pet of the day at kgw.com. Just send us your pet's photo. Can be anything. And use that email address and your pet will become our pet of the day. The weather map. We are looking at snow showers moving up across southern and then eventually parts of eastern Oregon at times into this afternoon, including the Blues. Mainly dry here on the west side with, we think, a nice partly cloudy day developing. 48 the high, again, maybe a spotty shower. Tomorrow, the impact alert in the PM hours, a steady rain takes hold and gets heavier into the evening. Rain at times Wednesday. All of that winds down Thursday. We're dry on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Right, let's take you up to the mountain. A live look at Highway 26 in Government Camp. This is right near the turnoff to the road that takes you up to Timberline Road. You can see some fresh snow up there, and obviously be prepared for what's coming there tomorrow. Meanwhile, down low, a little fog right now at the Sylvan Hill. Highway 26 out near Skyline Boulevard. It's a little foggy and a little slow now coming in from 217. At last check, your drive actually from Hillsboro to downtown has jumped up to 23 minutes at last check. The drive in from Wilsonville up to about 21 minutes. And last but not least, out of Clark County, getting busier at the Interstate Bridge for that I-5 South commute. That's jumped up to 14 minutes now, Main Street to the Fremont. China?
Thank you, Chris. Well, it appears we have a winner for the first baby born in Oregon in 2026. This little girl was born at 12:04 a.m. on New Year's Day at Kaiser Westside Medical Center in Hillsboro to parents Mary Cruz and Moses Lopez. So congratulations to them. From tariffs to lagging sales, the wine industry navigated through many challenges in 2025. We check in with several local wineries.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
A new year couldn't come soon enough for Oregon's struggling wine industry. Winemakers say that they're ready to leave the tariffs and lagging sales in 2025 and start fresh. Libby Dowsett takes a look at the toll last year's tariffs had on smaller wineries.
We're looking at 1.2 acres of Chardonnay, 1 acre of Sauvignon.
Jared Hottie from Grape Ink Winery in North Plains moved from Europe to plant grapes in Oregon's Tualatin Hills.
There's our Mondeuse, which is from the Savoie region, Pinot Noir, and Trousseau. Although there's not a leaves and fruit, this is my favorite time of the year as it gives me a chance to see what happened last year.
It's a question many local winemakers are asking. What did happen last year? A waning interest in both wine and spirits. Months of tariff trouble with Canada and Europe. Hottie first heard about Canada's devastating wine import ban as he was loading a pallet of wine headed north.
And I'm very happy they didn't take the wines because they would have been stuck with them and unable to sell.
The export market accounts for 25 to 30% of Grape Ink's production. According to the Wine Institute, Canada may have softened retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods this fall, but most individual provinces have yet to drop their bans on U.S. wine and spirits. Larger wineries also feeling the crush, but they know wineries like Grape Ink, which produces just 500 cases of wine a year, depend on every bottle sold.
What drives the Oregon wine industry is that smaller 5,000 case winery. And so there's real people crafting real wine here in the state.
Real people with real wine, but fewer people to buy it.
That's the hardest part is Mother Nature presented us with some wonderful vintages. So we have all these wonderful wines and we're looking forward to celebrating them and sharing them abroad.
Hoping for that chance again in 2026. Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Many people use the start of the year as a chance to cut back on things like drinking. It's becoming a tradition for some to participate in Dry January, and one local beer seller is catering to the sober crowd with NA Fest. KGW photographer Dan Arusha went to check it out.
Today we've got our third annual NA Fest we've been doing to kind of honor the non-alcoholic side of the business. John's historically has been a beer store, but times have changed and people's palates have changed. We wanted to ride that wave of makers that are focusing on the non-alcoholic sector. I would say that we're seeing double-digit increases every year, given that there is that many more makers out there that are bringing the craft to the table. The variety and the quality is just accelerating. People come in here and they can try a lot of things and be here for a couple hours versus a beer festival or something else. You kind of have your limit. So empty your cup about what you understood as near beer and fill it with a new one and see what you think.
You said that you've had some non-alcoholic beers and you like
that are very good, very tasty. I mean, yeah. And it sounds like they're probably getting more and more all the time. So
there you go.
There you go. Let's show you our Timberline live sky camera with freshly plowed snow in the parking lot. So pretty, so fresh, 6, 7, 8 inches. If you go back to Saturday night, all total, at times there was a bit of a lull and this picked back up. But they've at least picked up some decent snow over the past couple of days. 24 is the number up there. Cascade Passes show snow cover. Not much today, mainly flurries moving forward, snow level 3,000 feet. The big story, everything that starts tomorrow with an incoming Tuesday storm front. Washington, Oregon in purple, the Cascades, both states under a winter storm warning, and this should be a pretty good hit of snow. So it picks up tomorrow, especially mainly in the afternoon, and then we get heavier snow Tuesday night. There's a front that comes in Tuesday night. Behind that, snow levels that pop up a bit tomorrow to 4,000 feet will plummet to 2,000 feet. So really hoping for good hefty snow amounts Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This will obviously impact travel and make it slow going with all out winter traveling conditions, but we need the 2 feet of snow that we think is likely at this point, especially when you get above 4,000 feet. But there should be at least a foot accumulated at government camp. It winds down Thursday. We go dry on Friday. Haven't had many winter storm warnings. As you know, this entire season, we've got one that takes hold tomorrow. Here's the moisture break for a quiet Monday. There's the incoming storm on Tuesday. Now, you folks, if you're traveling down to southern Oregon or even out east where you see the cloud fetch, you will see some flurries and some snow shower activity. Futurecast shows that this afternoon at noon. But outside of a spotty shower chance, we think we open up some decent sun and have a nice quiet Monday with light winds. Here's early this evening. Here's tomorrow morning. Now incoming rain hitting the coast and then picking up a steady rain into the afternoon, and the heavy rain in yellow coming in tomorrow evening. And there's the snow in the Cascades. So that's the steady push. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And then it's occasional shots of moisture coming through on Wednesday, including more snow down to 2,000 feet up in the Cascades. So a good mountain snowmaker and a good valley and good coast rainmaker. We'll have over 2 inches potentially along parts of the beach. It shows Tillamook 2.40, and it shows about an inch from Portland down into Eugene, and maybe over an inch when you get up into Kelso Longview. It has been foggy in Hood River this morning, and it's foggy from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles in Wasco County as well. Sign, of course, of no wind. You're at 37 degrees. Here are the other temps. 43 in Kelso right now, 34 in Bend, freezing out in Burns, and here come your 7-day numbers. 48 today, mainly dry, partly cloudy skies opening up. The impact alert tomorrow for the afternoon, steady rain into the night. Rain at times continues Wednesday, but some breaks in the action. Winds down Thursday. We go dry on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's Chris.
You know, Rod, even though we've had a break in the intense weather, ODOT still dealing with major repairs across some big highways across the region. Highway 6, of course, west of the Glenwood area. Check that out. That's a snapshot from a couple of days ago. That is still down to 1 lane. And there are heavy delays as they alternate traffic there. Also, US 101 north of Lincoln City, same story, down to 1 lane, alternating with flaggers 24/7 through that stretch of roadway. That's near milepost 102. And of course, the big landslide that took out 229. That's going to be a long-term closure in Lincoln County. Again, that all happening last month. And 224 in Estacada, that's still closed, or I should say east of Estacada. So check tripcheck.com because we're still dealing with the aftermath of last month's atmospheric rivers on the roadways. The drive right now actually not in too bad a shape. We're a little slow coming in from the Sylvan Hill, and the I-5 drive now starting to bunch up a bit. That's almost 20 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. Jordan Child was back on the podium after an incredible start to the NCAA season. We'll take a look at her scores from the Best of the West meet when we return.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
For the fourth time in franchise history, the Seattle Seahawks are the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. That is after they beat the 49ers 13-3. And while there are plenty of star players on the Seahawks, they all want to credit the head coach.
The community that he's building in that locker room, man, we play for each other. We fight for each other. And I've said this before. We got here to this point, and it started last year, man. It started through those ups and downs that we had last year when I came here. It started then, and we were able to pick it up this year and just keep rolling.
They love each other, man. It is so much fun to go to work every day and to coach this team. It is an absolute honor to coach these guys. I just talked to AD on the plane. I was like, I don't want this to end.
Again, this is the fourth time Seattle is the NFC #1 seed in franchise history. The 3 previous times they made it to the Super Bowl, and Vegas likes their odds to win it all. They are also in the Super Bowl favorites in the latest odds by DraftKings, followed by the Rams, Broncos, Patriots, and the Eagles. The NCAA gymnastics season is underway, which means Vancouver's Jordan Childs is stealing the show for the UCLA Bruins, just doing that all the time. The Olympic gold medalist scored nothing less than 9.9 on all 4 rotations. Obviously, she finished in first place across the board. The Bruins also won the Best of the West meet, beating out University of Washington, Cal, and the Beavers to start the season. Coming up at 8 o'clock, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with where in Portland you can find a bowl of hot soup for just $1.